What's up, you guys, man? This is Cassanova, back with Casanova's Boxing Picks, where there is no judges, no scorecards, just all truth, man. Appreciate all love and support, man. Thank you guys for joining me. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel. Turn that bell to get notified every time I drop a vid. Hey, man, we had a big weekend this weekend, man, of young stars. With a couple of coming out parties. I was really excited about this card because there's a bunch of young stars on here. I think in the making. I feel like we got introduced to a couple of new guys, of course. I just think this card was very, let's just say, telling. It kind of set the table for a lot of, the next generation of boxer. So I definitely think that it accomplished what it needed to accomplish, and I just want to give a couple of guys shout outs that's on the card and everything like that, man. And yeah, man, it was an amazing event, you know, in Cleveland. So let's start with the undercard. Because I want to talk about the prelims for sure. I think that we did have both of the Mason brothers on the undercard, and they showed similarities to Mason in some ways. I mean Abdullah, I meant. But I was watching let me see here. I watched Abdurrahman. I don't want to mess up their name. Abdurrahman. I want to say that's his name. And I definitely was impressed by him. I was impressed by both of the brothers. I thought the first fight with Ibrahim, for sure. I thought he had a lot of potential as far as the power, the offensive side. What I would like for him to work on is just to, getting them hands back. It's a very dangerous game out there in the boxing world. Just pulling your hands back, for sure. And then you watch Abdurrahim, and he got it. His hands is back. I mean, the check hook that he caught his opponent with, that was the beginning of the end. It was textbook. It's so textbook. He has a lot of offensive skill, but he has a lot of defensive skills too. But defensively responsible. I seen that because I could tell by the way the hands pulled back, how quick they got back, and how quick he fired off what he wanted to get off. So that was good. That's good right there. And then I watched Scooter Davis versus Carlos Ramos. Now listen. I'm going to say this. I watched Scooter disrespect his opponent before the fight by not shaking his hand. I understand that. And listen, sometimes it is a fight. So you don't necessarily have to. But if you're going to stand on that, then stand on that. I'm not going to lie. These judging to me for this whole event was bad. It was bad judging. Like, to me, Scooter Davis did not win that fight. No 78. I think that some of them have a 78, 73. I'm like, where the heck that scorecard come from? 77, 75. If you want to edge Scooter to fight, okay. I thought Ramos did amazing. I ain't gonna lie. I thought he did enough to get a draw at least. I did. I thought he did enough to get a draw at least. But I see Derek Scooter Davis. I see a lot of potential in him. But I see a lot of arrogance that he has to go back in the gym, work on that, get out there, perfect your game, push it, adjust. I didn't see no adjustments from this kid all night. He kept going at it one way. And when you're fighting against a guy who has at least some boxing IQ and some experience in the ring, they know how to attack you. And he's southpaw. So Carlos Ramos is southpaw. So he was coming at you he was attacking you from different angles, and you didn't know how to really until a little later in the later rounds. Of course, it started picking up. But yeah, man, that went 8 rounds and everything like that. And then we had Tiger Johnson. I'm gonna tell you about this dude, man. It's a real deal. I like his fighting style. I like the patience mixed with the meanness of his punches, mixed with the confidence. I always say, if you're gonna be mean, confident, and patient, that's a great combination. I watched Tiger at first. He was working off his jab. Everything was off the jab. Everything off the jab. Everything off the jab. Then he started letting that right hand go a little bit more. Letting the right hand go a little bit more. Then the right hand got a little bit more. Then as the fight started going on, you started seeing him unload with combinations. Now that is going to be the next evolution, I think, of him. It is the combination punches, because to me, that's the next level. That's how you get to that next level. To open up with the combination punches and letting your hands go. Christopher Guerrero was a solid opponent, very solid, undefeated fighter, but Tiger Johnson was just too much. It was too much for him. He was quicker to the punch. He hit harder, way harder, and he kept pushing through. He kept pushing through. Activity turned up even more. Like I said, I'm with his coach Bomac, man. He said, yeah, it was a great fight for him to get those rounds in and everything like that. Got a little stuff to clean up on here and there, but overall, it's a good performance. Good to great performance, for real, for real. I'll give it about a B plus, and I'll probably give it about a B plus to A. I definitely think, like I said, he's gonna be a really good fighter in the sport, and we'll see what happens with the whole Devin Haney thing. Maybe him and Devin get shaken and get in the ring. So we'll see. And then we had Bruce Shushu Carrington versus Palacios. I don't know what happened. This was a weird fight for me, because this is supposed to be a coming out party for Shushu to show, hey, give me anyway, or give me this one, or give me this big fight. Even the guys that's in his weight class right now. Shushu, I don't know. I don't know if this was just a bad night, because he won the fight clear, but not only did he get knocked down, that didn't count as a knockdown, because it's kind of a rabbit punch to the back of the head. I'm not sure what you want a fighter to do when I'm throwing a punch and he ducks his head. I'm just not sure what you want a fighter to do. I was watching it. Shushu at first was letting him go, you know what I'm saying? To open up combinations, hitting the guy pretty clean, and having success early, was dominating the fight. But then he got comfortable. I'm going to tell you this. They have a thing about this open scoring system that they were kept discussing during this fight, because this is the only fight that had it. Now, the open scoring system is basically between the 4th and the 8th round, the card get it, like the judging get announced. What judges have it at this point in the fight and at that point in the fight. Now, do I think Shushu could have possibly have heard that he was up after the 8th round, 79-73, and coasted and took a break? Yes, I think that's very possible, because all of a sudden he's getting hurt to the body, getting hit to the face, and like he got hit. And then to the point to where his arm didn't move. He didn't want to throw a punch, and his arm didn't move. So, to me, are we fans of this open scoring in boxing? I'm not necessarily sure, because at the end of the day, the scoring thing is messed up in boxing. I would have to sit down and really think about it, of how that would really actually work in boxing, especially in a big fight. To me, I don't know how you're going to do it in that in a big fight. So, overall, he won the fight. Shushu did win the fight, but I feel like his opponent really pushed the gas and was trying to get him up out of there. He hurt him several times in this fight, and I didn't like that. I didn't like it because I didn't like Shushu's response to being hurt. That was my problem. There ain't nothing wrong with getting hurt. Everybody get hurt in fights. But for you to not respond in the way that you should have, that's what I'm talking about. And now on to the main event. Listen, Albert Bell, man, shout out to you, dog, for taking this fight on short notice. I know this is your boy. This is your dog. This is more than outside of boxing. This is religious based, man. So shout out to y'all for putting that stuff aside and giving us this fight and everything like that, man. And the fight started out how I kind of figured. Albert Bell was a live dog, and I felt as though that Albert Bell was controlling the fight. He was controlling the fight from the perspective of on the jab and the right hand. The slip counters were there all night. He kept letting that right hand go boom. Kept letting that right hand go boom. And at first, Mason did not have an answer for it. He did not have an answer for it. But what Mason kept doing was, this is what we call it in boxing, chopping wood, taking the air out the tire, flooding the basement. All you got to do is get that big, tall guy to bring his hands down slightly. And with Abdullah's reach, he'll be able to get there. Because I think it basically happened like I figured it was going to happen with this fight because of the big power difference between the two. And I said, he's not used to people being able to reach him in a certain position that he'll lean back where even him dropping his hands don't mean it because you can't get to him. But this is different. Abdullah Mason arms are long enough to reach Albert Bell. So what he did was he started attacking the body, attacking upstairs. It was an aerial assault, man. It was just an assault, and he kept breaking them down from rounds 7 on. He kept breaking them down little by little, going to the body, up to the face, going to the body, up to the face, sometimes to the face, then to the body. It was back and forth all night. And we've seen a competitive fight. We've seen a fighter who's very competitive. And I want to do I'm going to say shout out to Abdullah Mason, shout out to his team, shout out to his brothers, shout out to his dad, shout out to his mom, shout out to everybody who was involved in this. I'm going to do a separate video just exclusively for y'all on just strictly Abdullah Mason because I want to talk about what's next for him, what's the next move, and what did I really see, and do I feel like he's going to be next. So I'm going to answer all those questions in a separate video outside of this. I just wanted to shout out and shed some light on the young stars of boxing. These are potential future champions, and I wanted to bring light to that. So I appreciate all the love and support. But thank you guys for joining me today on Cassanova's Boxing Pit. No judges, no scorecards, all facts. All right? Appreciate y'all. Until next time.